Good day, you wild roving band of questers. Simplicity here with another portal report. I know I said I'd be back with one in 72 hours, but this one is an extended portal report. There's been a little disturbance in the force field, and so I want to give an update here, something to put in your pocket as a little bit of a clue to take with you as you are heading down that road toward the Stone of Destiny. Actually, it's not really a road, it's more a waterway at this point, and you are traveling underwater, so there is a little bit of an undercurrent that's operating here. But I wanted to tell you about a dream I had early this morning. Usually when I get a dream coming in the morning time, it is prophetic in nature. We're about to do a little bit of revealing here. Okay, so there were these energy harvesters that came into my dream, and they were really like throwing their weight around, you know. They were threatening to bring the muscle, you know. We're gonna take you down, we're gonna make you pay, and you ain't got no say about it. But much like I had the experience where I laughed in the face of that devil with the dream I had when I was 18 years old, I just found so much humor in the situation, and I just laughed. And it was another one of those experiences where I was like, you have no power here, or rather, you have no slack here, man. You don't know how to take it easy. You don't know how to lighten up. And if you don't know how to lighten up and take it easy and find a sense of humor, you're not going to fare well in these parts, nor are you going to really be able to make anything come undone. And so as I was sitting there kind of saying my piece, calling these energies out, I noticed that more of them kind of came in and they started to rally up against a broad. And right at that moment, a very unusual montage song came in. And that song was Never Gonna Give You Up. Okay, so there's somebody, or perhaps a group of energies here. Let's call them energies, all right? Because I do feel like these energies don't necessarily need to be attached to a particular person. I feel like they can hop from one casing to the next. That's kind of how it's coming through, like jumping into one person after the next to cloak their energy. And that depending on how somebody is able to really hold their own force field, hold their own space, you can mistake this energy for someone who's actually an ally. So it's a little bit of trickster medicine here coming in. So do be aware of really managing your own energy here, managing your force field. Your force field does have influence. There is an actual energetic force around your body. And science has also delved into the study of this, and it does have an influence. Your energy does impact those around you, experiences around you. And so this is a time to really get in touch with that, really running your own energy. But there is some very pernicious, determined energy here, or energies here, that want to settle a score. And they don't want to give it up. But what was weird is when I heard Rick Astley's song, Never Gonna Give You Up, come in, the lyrics were changed. And the lyrics were, gonna have to give it up, gonna get let down, it's getting the run around and deserted. Not gonna make me cry, I'm saying goodbye. I ain't telling no lies, you only hurt you. So let me tell you something, that is an incantation. It is an incantation. It's an incantation that dumps out what is clogging up the waterway. It's an incantation that purifies the gross cup so the gravy funnel can come on through, and cock-a-doodle-doo, we can get that dawning of a new day. This energy is about to be brought to its knees. It's in a position of subservience, but it's trying to take its last stand. Pretty soon it will be pleading for relief, all right? So do be mindful of this. Don't get taken in by the smoke and mirrors. And of course, I'm at my magical little library here, and there were a couple books left here that weren't here before. We got Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. And so that lets me know that Sirius Black is on the loose. Sirius Lock. Sirius Lock. Sirius Lock. Sirius is trying to put something on lock. Sirius Black is trying to prevent the wizard from transforming a situation, okay? So you might be having some fingers pointed at you by some individuals that feel like you're at cause of their demise, but it's actually the other way around. There's something about the bell tolling here, and it's time to pay up. There is a certain price required to free oneself from the crossroads, all right? And that applies to entity energies too. Remember what we brought in on the Libra solar return quest here. Those scales of justice, they also are in charge of cosmic law and order. So this doesn't just deal with earthly matters, it deals with spiritual matters as well, right? So even the gods have to answer to the scales of cosmic order and law in this situation. So it's pretty interesting the way that this energy is rolling out here. So that's one little clue here. So do be mindful that there is some energy out here that would like to trip you up, trick you up as well. There's a little bit of a mystery to resolve. Yes, you're going to have to get very decisive here. You're going to have to employ that swords energy. You have to cut something off. And it may be a Gordian knot of sorts. There may be an energy that wants to make something really complicated, wants you to sort of really get in this labyrinth in your mind where soon you feel like a sense of consternation. You don't know how to get yourself out of a particular mental loop. But there's really nothing to figure out here. All you need to do is, just like Alexander the Great, just use your sword of discernment and cut the cord on this. It's time to drop into some weird ass mystical shit. We are heading up Candy Mountain there, and we know, as what happened to Charlie in that story of heading on up there to Candy Mountain, that not all is as it seems. You got to be aware of who guides you to Candy Mountain, and the best thing to do is to trust your avatar, right? Trust your own internal GPS to get you where you want to go, because there can be false guides along the path. There was also a Nancy Drew book here. It is number 13 in the series. It is The Mystery of the Ivory Charm. So there might be a charm that you need to find here, something that holds that pillar of light intact. There may be a particular charm that comes to you, or something you need to charm that you need to imbue with your own personal magic. I opened the book at random, and what I fell on was the chapter called The Angry Elephant. So it makes me feel like there's somebody here that has the memory of an elephant, okay? They got serious grudge energy. They will not let something go. And if this is an entity that has followed you through your bloodline generationally, then this entity knows that you bested it in some way and is trying to find a tricky way to get back in. So do be mindful of this, because it is persistent, but you do have this energy in a subservient position right now, because You've decided that you're ready to stop processing the heavy stuff. You're ready to lighten up. You're ready to focus on the light and ease on down that road, all right? You already got the courage. You already got the brains. You already got the heart. And you do recognize that you've had the power all along because you're coming back home to yourself. All right, let's get some more details here coming in. Yeah, we hear you knocking, but you can't come in. That's a floppy key, man. You don't got the key that opens the door. And maybe that's what you need to find. Maybe that's what you need to find. This particularly pernicious energy needs to find the key that opens up their door. They might be trying to get into a door that they're not meant to pass through here. Okay, so be mindful of this. Yeah, they're hungry. The energy harvesters are hungry. They don't have your energy anymore. They don't have access to your energy anymore, but you don't have enough spoons to feed this energy. All right? That's why the desperation is here. That's why the desperation is here. Do be mindful, too, of people trying to tap into you on a sensual level where you know it doesn't feel right. It's just so they can sink their claws into you and drag you back down to hell, right? So if something doesn't feel right to you, if something feels sus, remember, trust Laguz, trust the waterway, trust your intuition. You have to move real subtle right now. And that doesn't mean you can't be like out and about and be a mover and shaker in the world. Really creating twists and turns in the plot through the moves that you're making. But it does mean that you really have to tap into your senses and pay attention to how they're guiding you, because that swarm is still out there. And it knows that you've taken back the power of your heart. Your heart fire is lit. And they want to try to steal this before you can get to Ragnarok. We got to get the chariot to Ragnarok. The dawning of the age of Aquarius depends on it, all right? So you may have done something recently that stirred up a particular hornet's nest. The hive mind is all abuzz here, all right? Remember, there are 0.2 billion of those out there who are awake, aware, seeing through the illusion, have disrupted the machinations of the matrix. And there are 8 billion moles very busy underground creating tunnels of connectivity where they can move subversively. And they're trying to block your vision here. They're trying to steal your heart fire. They need the fuel of your heart fire for their energy source, but you are not needing the vision that the eyes can provide. You already have an inner vision that's being provided by your avatar here. So your intuition, your psychic sight is what is going to help you navigate this territory. All right, one more round of the Arcane BS, and then I'm going to pull out the cartomancy cards, and we're going to get some signposts and synchronicities through a roll of the dice, and also getting some Discordian spirit board action going on here, getting some letters and some messages. Yeah, time's up, man. We found the way through. You don't get a piece of this pie, man. And you may have your own little world order there, but we have our own, and we are working with chaos theory here. We're harnessing that chaos to give birth to our Stargate that gets us to the other side. We are putting the tears and the pain and the losses behind us. We're giving a finger to anything that wants to try to steal the dawn from us. And even now, just like Lilith transformed into Inanna, we are rising above the deception. We are in a state of transformation. We won't buy the lies of the deceiver. We're in process of cutting the cord. We're not divided between our heads and our heart. We've built a bridge. So now we see the way through. It's the third road. One more round? Yeah, one more round. You need to flush something here, okay? It's a good time to flush something. That makes me think of the intestines. The intestines hold our fears. So see, you need to cheat death by role-playing with it a little bit. See the humor in it. See it as a sense of folly. And never forget, that's the judgment horn blowing, okay? There's nothing to trip out here on. Except to trip the light, fantastic, all right? You're meant to have fun. So don't let any of these gloominous dooms bring your energy down. Yeah, gloominous doom. Gloominous doom. That's another fairy that likes to come around just as the energy is like getting lifted up and just bring everything down. Don't let them affect your frequency. You have someone here who's like a negative Nelly. You know, they don't want anybody to have a good time. They went and they threw something in the pot that spoiled that pot, and they think that everybody now needs to eat what they cooked up there. I'm sorry, but you know, you stirred that pot, so you're gonna have to lick that spoon. That's the way it works, man. Cut of the deck, we're purifying the pot. We're cooking up something new. And we don't have to submit to the label you want to put on it, because we do have this like butterfly medicine coming through. I got butterfly maiden coming through. Dances are often offered to butterfly maiden right before the harvest comes, right before the harvest is gleaned, in appreciation. It depends on where you are in the world, but this energy has kind of already been building since September, okay? So we really are at this time where the Kachina medicine is very much at the forefront, and Kachina medicine is a spirit. You could say it is a spirit, and it can come in many different forms, and it's a very creative energy. It's very active at the springtime. That's when we really see this energy come through, and there's a lot of growth and a lot of illumination. But remember, the Empress is stirring early here. So there's something about that Kachina medicine being extremely active right now. It's also an ancestral energy. So the ancestors, of course, at this time of year are very much more at the forefront. And that veil is just absolutely disintegrating. And this is what we're going to find. What was once called paranormal or supernatural is really becoming quite natural as we're waking up from a collective illusion, and we're starting to see that it's all going down right here, right now. There is no separation, okay? So these dark forces are really realizing that we're getting back to more of a state of simplicity here. We're seeing things without the complication, and they're hoping to bring some kind of destruction before this moment of creativity really gets its wings and starts to seed, starts to pollinate the future. It's like the butterfly effect. It's going to send out reverberations that really changes the way we're moving forward here. But the only way that this can be destroyed is if you buy into the labels. The labels are the BS, okay? So as soon as you start having an experience where you're automatically labeling it as something bad or something that's going to be your undoing, or this is the enemy over here, just recognize that it's a distortion in the force, and it's up to you to recalibrate that. It's the labels that we put on things that create limitations. Instead, look at it through a polished mirror and understand, how can you work with this to cast your own glamour and then mock something up that creates the space for that celebratory, creative, innovative energy to come through that opens the road for many more, because we need to get more characters into this storyline to really forge the way for the future here. It's interesting because right before I brought in that Libra Solar Quest return, interesting. Solar Quest return. So there might be something that is looping back around the bend that relates to this time last year. There might even be a pattern. There could be a pattern you've noticed sort of weaving through the storyline of your life, something that always kind of comes to a head during this time, that's coming back around the bend again. Because right before I went and I did that Libra download last night, a moth came on the scene and was hanging out at the window, normally where the spider is, right? But there's no spider web there right now. That energy is currently cleared out, because a new creative cycle is about to begin. And when we're looking at moth medicine, it's very much related to butterfly medicine. The only difference is it's here to go into the fire of transformation, to transmute the shadowy quality, so we can get to that lighter, brighter side where we head into the territory of a more technicolor experience, all right? With the butterfly medicine. Air signs at the forefront here, being agents of change. As I see this flock of birds, they look like blackbirds flying from the south to the north. So yes, something is already in a process of transformation. The air signs are leading the charge with this. Libra naturally at the forefront there, but certainly Aquarius. Aquarius is hosting Pluto, and Pluto just went direct in Aquarius. Got Gemini there too. Uranus and Gemini. So a lot of wild card energy in play at this time. Brewer's blackbird coming in. That's the blackbird that is really active in this area. Okay, so tune into that, because it's a very special kind of medicine. And I really like to encourage people to do their own research around blackbirds. They can have a kind of similar medicine to Raven, but there's some distinctions. And I feel like it's best to just sort of plant that as a seed, because those who really want to take up the knowledge will seek it. They'll follow that thread of connection, and they will find their own sources of wisdom. And where they're drawn to grok that may be different than where another is drawn, and that makes it a very individual kind of empowerment coming in, all right? Yeah, see, the all-seeing slice. They want to know what slice you got there. What is the slice you got there? I don't got a slice. We don't got a slice. We got the whole damn pie. That's the thing. And it really is. I got the whole damn pie. It's the I am consciousness. This is what's keeping them in the dark, man. These forces, they feel like they need to hoard this energy, that they need to piecemeal it out to others. No. That's not how it works, ma'am. All right, let's get some more clues here. 23:11 on the clock. Hail, Eris. That's another point to be mindful of when it comes to the sign of Libra. Libra is not just the balancing point between shadow and light, but also chaos and order. And remember, we're moving through that waterway, Eridanus, the waters that are poured out by Aquarius, okay? So there's a lot of connecting points coming in here. We're weaving quite a lore together. We're telling a particular story together, bottom of the deck. And it's to bring two wonder twin powers that are going to activate a lot of connecting points for many here. This is that star mate energy. But there's some kind of disappointment that needs to be put in the past for these two to come together that open the road for many. That's what I got here. Let's turn this deck upright and let's get some more clues with these shadow light playing cards. I'm enjoying this energy. I find it very playful and fun. And when I encounter things that are a bit of a mystery, and when I feel like I'm reaching my hand into that cosmic grab bag where it's a bit of that random clip art action where you never know what you're going to get, there's so much excitement in that. There's so much excitement in finding a clue and really diving into the mystery of that clue. You may get an initial reaction when you receive a clue, but you're being encouraged at this time to remember that part of this energy we're moving into in Libra season is diving into the deepest well of Danu. Danu is a creatrix energy. She is a primordial goddess, but her energy is also very much rooted on earth. She is the mother of the Tuatha De Danann. She is said to give birth to the gods. She holds all the treasures. She is the gold of the Tuatha De Danann, the elusive gold of the Tuatha De Danann. Because in order to really enter her waterway, you have to be very brave of heart. And most people, they like to cut corners. They like to find a way around things, and there's no way to find a way around. Into the heart of fairy, there's only the option to dive really deep, deeper than you've ever gone before, and give your whole heart over to the experience. I like this energy. Okay, yes, we are talking about the gold of the Tuatha De Danann. We're also talking about that energy of the Merlin signature. When we finally do get washed up onto the shore and the bardic path opens and we are transformed. This is transforming the energy of the South Node so we can move on up north. But first you have to retrieve the elusive gold of the Tuatha De Danann. It's a very unspoken of treasure. Most don't even know how to define it. And I dare say that what that gold is for you will not be what it is for me, or anyone else for that matter. So again, this is deeply personal. You cannot access somebody else's well. That will not show you the way there. And yes, we have our own entry points into the deepest well of Danu. So any kind of attempts to have a security breach will only get one caught up in the Hall of Mirrors, get one trapped in the mirrors of glamour. You got to be careful with fairy, man. They will spirit you away. And that can be a pleasant, delightful flight of fancy, or it can be something rather terrifying, if I'm to be honest with you. Because there's the lighter, brighter side of fairy, and then there is quite the tricky side of fairy, too. There is an alignment coming in here, and it is something that has been held back for a while. But what was holding it up, what was creating a sense of disappointment, and it feels like it's some kind of third element involved. It could be an entity that has been creating a little bit of mischief and play. Maybe something that somebody out there conjured something up, maybe even a group. Someone in a secret society that conjured things up to try to create blockages, try to call off this spirit of celebration. Yeah, something that was trying to block the way to us reaching the Stargate and activating the destiny, the North Node potential. It will be achieved. It's going to come on through. And I do see us bringing our energies together. We're going to get that chariot to Ragnarok. And we do receive the treasure, the yield, the spoils of our travels through some rather tricky territory here, okay? So just remember this. We got this on lock. We got this on lock. But first, there's the death that we must cheat here, okay? You see? This comes to 13. And that brings us right back to a little bit of this mystery. The mystery of the ivory charm. We'll be bringing more in on this next week. This is a plot twist, another twist in a twist in Tor. Somebody's trying to tear up this storyline. They want to tear it apart. No, 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 no. It's a twist and turn in the telling of this tale. I'm telling you, there's somebody here that's a glominous doom. They are. They are a glominous doom, and they are getting called out. Queen of Hearts, where's your heart? What happened here? You need to find your way back home to your heart, Queen of Hearts. Got strong water sign energy here. We need the water sign energy to purify, to be on board, because if you're not on board here, if you don't purify your heart, you're really going to cut off even your own treasure here. Do you understand? This is something that needs to be walked away from here. There needs to be healing here. There needs to be this celebration. It doesn't just come through to benefit you. It's to benefit the many. Wow. Okay, so do look at where you have water in your chart, and where you have water in your chart, make sure you're purifying this, okay? So you can get this power balanced out, because you see here, the power is being used in a distorted way. And you have more understanding than this. This is Queen of Clubs energy. This is somebody that is working their alchemy in a more self-serving way, and it's an abuse of power. This needs to be transformed stat, man. It's an emergency. All right, I'm going to do a cut of the deck here, see what we got. That came in with 30:35 on the clock. Yes, there needs to be a balancing out of how one is doing their alchemy work here, or what they're trying to manifest. There's a greedy hoarding energy, and it's not going to be allowed through. And I do see this King of Diamonds in the light here, really grounding this out. We also got the King of Spades in the light, grounding this out. Okay, so as above, so below. We are rooting heaven on earth, right? Archangel Jophiel coming through, working with Fairy here, working with He of the Fiery Sword to activate our will so we can make it through the forge, and we can call forth the master within us, which is really about mastering those lower impulses so we can embrace more of a collective consciousness here. All right, let's see what's in the bag of tricks. Let's get some spirit board action coming in here to cap off this message for the collective. I also got the dice in here too. I like putting the dice in with all the letters, so let's see what comes on through here. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, the paddy wagon's coming for this energy. It is getting caught up. It's not going to hold up this show anymore. And with this, we got double fours, okay? Life path 4, speaking really strongly to you. Life path 8, speaking really strongly to you. This is also about really considering the foundation of what you are calling into being here. Is it rooted in something that truly is for one and all? And what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing the word money. Someone is way too impressed with materialism. They are too focused on superficial things. There's many different types of currency, and I think that's a lesson that is going to be learned in this situation. This person could be an artist that's really fixated in this way. They could be a painter, because I have Monet here as well. All right. You know, Monet became very frustrated near the end of his life because he started to lose his sight. So he wasn't able to paint in the way that he used to. So somebody could be losing their vision. They could be losing their sight because their focus is on the wrong things here. We got cat energy coming in here. Somebody is trying to move very secretively. It's that mole energy. We also have mole here. Okay, so this is an energy that is trying to destabilize something subterraneanly. But I do got this energy, and I see net here, so that makes me think the internet. They're working through the internet. They're trying to crack the code on the internet. So this is sort of like a hacking kind of energy too. Be aware of this. Don't get caught up in any kind of scams. I did get this energy in relation to the moles, that the moles are coming out at night. That's when they're really resurfacing, okay? And there's nothing really to be afraid of here. Again, it's just really about being mindful of your energy and creating that atmospheric charge around yourself. Be in charge of the energetic charge that you are holding around yourself, and also that you're transmitting out into the world, because it does have an effect here. I got Gitanimo coming in here. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, this energy is getting caught up. And this could be some, you know, macrocosmic level energy that is coming through here. And with that, I got bam. Yeah, that's right on the money there, okay? Some energy is really getting shaken up here. It's like the tables are shaking, man. Again, that imagery of Jesus turning over the tables in the temple. Right? These energies are starting to get destabilized because they're getting called out the more and more that people wake up. I got the name Dan, Danielle, Daniel, Danny. Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling, okay? Yeah, they're calling you home. You gotta like find your way back home. Find your way back home to your heart. And with that, I got Te Amo, you know. Find your way back home to your heart. It's time to fuel the heart fire. I also got salt coming in here, right? So you might want to do some salt cleansing. If you feel like you've had sort of some heavy energy in your home space, you can take a container of salt, like a little dish of salt. It's better if you have it in something that's made of the earth, like a ceramic dish, and just put a little salt in the center of each room. And then after it's been left there overnight, the next day you can take it and you can bury the salt. You can earth the energy, return it to the earth. The earth will know what to do with it, okay? And then maybe there will be a way to see things more clearly. Outside energy could be affecting you. Outside energy could be affecting you. I got Katie coming in there too, okay? I also have Kate, again with an I. Catherine, Kate, Katie, coming in with a C. I said with an I. Katie with an I. Maybe somebody normally spells it with a Y. Interesting. They're feeling a little catty. Oh, they're a little bit of a catty energy. Okay. Nadine, you need to be aware of this. Okay. This is like coming in as a little heads up to Nadine. Interesting. Interesting. I also have the energy of Taos coming in, and the name Sal as well. All right, so we have some kind of markers, geographical markers coming in here too. I have queens coming in as well. There may be a certain battle between some queens here who want to have dominion. And it's not about one having dominion. This is about a sharing of power. And certainly that queen energy could apply to a masculine too. There's this kind of catty energy, but it may be coming through a masculine. This has come out before. I got naughty coming out here, okay? Somebody's been naughty, but it's coming out as N-A-D-I. Those are naughty points. Those are energetic points in the body in Ayurveda, okay? That ties into the cat energy. It's coming in really strongly here. Montana coming in around that. With the Queen too, I also got Queens. Queens, New York could be a connecting point as well. All right, so be aware of this. I also have some indications here that there could be some people in this situation that are in recovery. I got NA here, I got AA here, or maybe they need to seek out some sources of support to get in recovery. This could be where the distortions are coming from, okay? So do try to have some compassion even as you are dealing with really frustrating energies here. I got EMT around that, all right? There might be a situation like an emergency situation that kind of brings things to a head. It may feel really disruptive for these characters, but it's actually the thing that they need that will quell their troubles and get them to the other side. This is going to be an interesting little section of the journey that we're heading through here. I got dice, okay? So I'm being told to roll the dice again. All right, so I'm going to roll the dice again. I'm going to put these letters away. I also got ho-ho. So there's something about Christmas time coming through, all right? Christmas is coming in early. We've had that message on the channel before, right? Christmas is coming in early. All right, let's get some final numbers here coming in as messages, things we need to pay attention to. Again, the 8 message coming in, so pay attention in the next 8 minutes, the next 8 hours, the next 8 days. Lots of clues coming through. Lots of clues coming through that will crack the code of a particular mystery. Okay, so we got Life Path 5 coming in here. We got Life Path 1 coming in here. We got 6 coming in here, okay? This is also an energy of sort of being held up here. I feel like this Chariot is not ready to move forward yet. More needs to be revealed, so give it a chance for it to come on through. And now that I'm looking at this, you know what it's reminding me of? It's not so much a paddy wagon, but it's almost reminding me of a bus, right? Remember, when you see things, have another look at that. That makes me think of a bus, you know, that can hold many people. And it makes me think of Magic Bus. Yeah, Magic Bus. All aboard the Magic Bus. That's a song from The Who. Okay, who's who in this story? Maybe that's yet to be determined, okay? I mean, I think you're going to be moving on up north in a different way than you expect. And maybe with traveling companions you don't expect. Coming in real strongly for Life Path 1, Life Path 5, Life Path 6 here. Also, let's not forget that there is that energy of the full moon in Taurus that is going to be coming in on the scene on November 5th. That is a connecting point for the new beginning. That's when this energy that's currently held up frees up and it heads due north. So up until that point, tune in, turn on, and listen to what's coming in on the ether and run it through your own filter. Let your avatar help you decipher these coordinates and any clues that come on through, because not all is as it seems. And what you see really is dependent on where you're at. All you see is all there is. And there's a lot of glamour out there. So make sure you're polishing that mirror. Godspeed.